Alright, hello. Tom, Cat and Jerry Mouse are among the most popular cartoon characters in the history of animation, now spanning over 85 years. Over that time there's bound to be some stinkers though, especially in the post-golden age of theatrical shorts. There was a director though that produced only stinkers, 100% smelly shorts. But I'm not talking about the Chuck Jones directed shorts. Sure, they were not perfect. Honestly, they were not that bad. They at least had the correct sound design, and although limited animation with the budget available, they still hold up okay. Some of them being personal favourites of mine. No, there was a director whose shorts were so much worse. I'm talking about the Gene Deitch era of Tom&Jerry. Created in a studio in Czechoslovakia, which is now modern day Czechia, these budget shorts were made from the change in a matchbox, and are so bad I thought I had to watch them all and punish myself, just so I could make a video on it, but also to see if any of them have any redeeming qualities. Are there any hidden gems among this trash? Now, Warner Brothers can be quite strict when it comes to copyright, especially with Tom&Jerry. But if you're seeing this, it means I've been able to upload the video. So, let us begin my torture with 1961's Switchin Kitten. The basic premise of this short involves a complete crackpot scientist who switches a cat's brain with a dog's brain. His voice is certainly something. He must have had about 10 cups of coffee to be bouncing around that much. This would be a running trend with a lot of these shorts. They have some of the most oddest sound effects I've ever heard in any cartoon. At least they got the stormy weather correct. The establishing shots do at least build some tension, but everything is just so bizarre to watch. Even I can do a better dog or cat noise. Woof. Meow. See, it's not difficult. It has some moments which made me laugh though, but more so because they were so bad I just couldn't help laughing at it. The faces Tom was making in the test tube was also a highlight. In an otherwise terrible cartoon, this one starts us off with a 3 out of 10. Let's just hope it gets better. It doesn't get better, does it? Continuing with 1961, we have Down and Outin'. The first thing I noticed was Tom's owner. Gone are the days of the controversial Mammy Two Shoes. One thing these shorts have which is a positive is they at least don't have any racial stereotypes or any politically incorrect jokes, but then they also don't really have any jokes. Not sure if this guy has a name, but I'm gonna call him Mr. Angry. He does tend to get very angry in these shorts. He goes on to appear in 2 more after this one. This short revolves around a fishing trip, with Jerry tagging along. Shenanigans ensue, of course. It was interesting to see that Jerry was more of the antagonist in this short, with him bugging Tom, who mostly just wanted to catch some fishies for his dinner. The same weird sounds and animation continues. Overall though, maybe a slight improvement. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 10. The final short for 1961. After this, the remaining 10 are all from 1962. Whereas the Golden Age shorts mostly centered around the home, a lot of the Dice shorts are all around the world, in exotic locations. This one being in ancient Greece. However, they don't really use any of the locations' potential. This one is just dull. Almost nothing happens the entire cartoon. They also overuse this stupid boing sound effect for literally everything. Look at this statue. What noise would you expect to hear if it landed on Tom's head? A thud? A crash? No, of course, a car horn, obviously. And this catapult. A glug 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 noise is the clear choice, yes, obviously. So far the worst one yet, but I fear there is worse to come. This one though gets a 2 out of 10. Let's see if 1962 can at least improve things. Starting with High Stakes, a classical Thomas and Jerry scenario. They have done so many barbecue themed shorts in the past, so maybe rather naively, I have high hopes for this one. Mr. Angry is also back, this time with these big chunks of meat. With steak on the menu, usually you would expect to see Spike, but he is absent throughout the Deitch years, which again is another negative, as in a short like this he'd bring a different dynamic. Mr. Angry though must be loaded with money to have a garden this big. We have a lot of cost saving techniques with action happening off screen, and some shots that linger on for no real reason. Overall though, it's okay enough to be a 4 out of 10. The 1960s, of course, was the height of the space race, culminating in the moon landings in 1969. However, less is documented about the history of mice in space. After Jerry reads about there being no cats, he is sold and wants to go into space. Which admittedly leads to some funny moments of Tom begging Jerry to stay and shoot him in the face. And this isn't the first time we've seen Tom resort to drinking his despair away. There's at least some ambition with this short, setting it in a very different location. The bizarre sound effects actually work with a space-themed short. Dare I say this one is actually passable as a Tom and Jerry short? So far the best one at least, it gets a 5 out of 10. This one feels like a lazy Sunday afternoon, with both Tom and Jerry fast asleep, before they're woken up by a farting bird. Okay, maybe that's not the sound they were going for, but again it's hard to tell what the sound effects are supposed to be. The noises this bird makes me feel like it's supposed to be some kind of alien creature. Genuinely though, this short unintentionally made me laugh out loud several times, with so far the strangest sounds I've heard.
What the hell was that?
Plus Tom getting a face full of airplane been another highlight. Not the best so far, as I was confused throughout most of it, but any short that makes me laugh deserves some credit, even if I'm laughing at it rather than with it. This one gets a 3 out of 10. Calypso Cat is up next, and this is one of 2 Gene Deitch Tom&Jerrys I had seen as a child. Both of them standing out as bizarre to me, even as a child. But you don't really fully understand why it's different when you're that young. At least with this short, the dynamic of Tom being with a girl cat and Jerry's jealousy feels more closer to the original shorts, with their friendship being spoiled by a third party. Overall, the sounds feel more normal in this short, with less bizarre screams and abstract sound effects. After doing some research about these shorts, this one is more well received than the other 12 shorts from this era, and I can see why. The slapstick timing is only slightly off, but the characters feel closer to how they should act. Not a bad attempt, this one. It gets a 6 out of 10, just ahead of Mouse into Space as it goes to my new number 1 spot. From the positives of Calypso Cat to Dicky Moe. Clearly a parody of Moby Dick, the main character of this short is not Tom or Jerry, but rather this insane sailor, whose only words appear to be the muttering, "Dicky Moe," over and over.
Dicky Moe. Dicky Moe. Dicky Moe.
Anytime there's dialogue in these shorts, it just doesn't work. Clearly the people hired to be the voice artists are not professional. Half the time the animators don't even make the character's mouths move. So you just end up with a bizarre short with a crazy man constantly saying Dicky Moe, Dicky Moe, Dicky Moe.
Dicky Moe.
With Tom and Jerry just happening to be there. The sounds of Tom's screams as he ends up stuck to Dicky Moe at the end still haunt me. This one is just a complete mess. After the strongest shot, they follow that up with this disaster. It gets a 1 out of 10, and it's lucky to get that.
This kit contains everything needed for quiet, sophisticated humor. One mean, stupid cat, one sweet, lovable mouse, and assorted deadly weapons.
This short ironically teaches you how to make a Tom and Jerry short. If only the producers had followed the instructions of this kit. Although the coffee and cigarettes are not exactly required. Another very strange idea for a short. There is basically no plot to this one at all. Other than we are creating a Tom and Jerry cartoon. So Tom and Jerry do Tom and Jerry things. It just skips from random moment to random moment, with no substance at all. I've seen AI created shorts that have better plot ideas than this one. It has to be one of the cheapest shorts to make though, as they don't really bother to make any backgrounds. Just a few different colours splashed here and there. Another really poor effort, this one. It gets a 2 out of 10.
Our next film will be for the kiddies and will demonstrate a new poison gas. Thank you and good night.
A Wild West themed short, and with some creative titles. Hold on, Ted Pierce wrote this short. The same Ted Pierce that worked for Warner Brothers, who brought us great shorts such as Big House Bunny, Bunk Hill Bunny, and Bad Old Pity Tat to name a few? Well, no wonder I actually liked this one. There is classic Looney Tunes style humour all over this short, with the names of the stores being silly little puns. Even the direction feels more focused. Jerry being the cheese bandit is a great idea. You could easily see this one being a classic Speedy Gonzales and Sylvester outing. Although there was a bizarre creative choice made, which was to open up the short with a scene that just repeats about a minute later into the short. Apart from that though, this is a brilliant little one. So many great moments. The staircase scene probably being my favourite. You can easily see the influence that Ted Pierce had. This one now goes into first place with a score of 7 out of 10. Now we have Sorry Safari. Well, at least they're apologising for this short in the title. This would be the last short to star Mr. Angry, and it's back to the abstract weird sounds and unusual animation, and also some very bad voice acting.
That's my gun! Give it to me!
I always get nervous when they set these shorts in the African jungle, but thankfully at least the Gene Deitch shorts didn't age terribly in that regard. They just aged terribly by being This one was overall not that offensive on the eyes or the ears, but also was not memorable in any way. I struggled to remember even watching this one, even after writing my notes. It gets a 3 out of 10.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This was the second short I watched as a child, and was the main inspiration for making this video, as it stood out so much to me. The contrast between this short and the regular Tom and Jerry I was used to just stuck in my mind. This one at least was memorable, Tom being stuck out in the snow, then them getting absolutely wasted. The laughter again being so creepy. Before Tom's betrayal of Jerry, and this genuine scary and weird scene, mostly due to the strange choices of sounds, making it difficult to understand just what is going on. At least this one though did stand out. I can still only give it though a 5 out of 10. We are finally at the end of these shorts, with Carmen Get It making the 13th and final Gene Deitch Tom and Jerry. Do they go out on a high? No is the short answer. Do they go out on another short filled with out-of-place sounds and no comedic timing? Yeah, pretty much. Classical music and Tom and Jerry usually go well together, with classics such as Tom and Jerry at the Hollywood Bowl and Cat Concerto. Can I think of any positives about this short? Well, the conductor looks kind of funky, that's something. There's some pleasant music, but the rest just sends me to sleep. Sorry Jerry, what was that? How is this not a parody of Tom and Jerry, but an actual official short? Who let this happen? This one gets a very boring 2 out of 10. So that ends a very mixed bag of shorts. Although it's like getting a box of chocolates, but they accidentally swapped all your favourites with something that tastes like dog drop-ins. The Gene Deitch era had very few high points, but those were Calypso Cat and Tool in the Trap getting my highest scores, with the lowest of the low and quite possibly the worst Tom and Jerry short of all time being Dicky Moe. Obviously they were working on a shoestring budget, and they were doing their best, but for the most part these shorts were just so disconnected. The biggest struggles being the sound design. But maybe I am incorrect. Is there any Tom and Jerry shorts that are worse than these? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But for now, take care and leave me alone.